change their mind frame, how their emotions, how they respond to their emotions, how they react to people. That mental health part is a big thing. That should be free.
Yes, sir.
That should be free.
Okay.
So I mean, I always ran, man. I would say education. Education is everything. What even one of y'all said, education is everybody's on. You got your kid right along. What you want to be when you grow up? He's gonna tell you what you want to be.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is educate. Education to me leads to everything.
Yeah. Okay.
They pretty much see everything I would see. Touch, eat, just make things. It's bad. I mean, I experienced it, and but it affected me. It could affect them. I know I say that like business wise. You know, we not equal. They take Columbia County, Richmond County. I used to my shop was under Mr. Lee. Greed.
Yeah.
He wanted us out of it. You know, so it's just crazy how they come on this side and write stuff, and you can get anything like that. But 4 or 5 of us in this room can have excellent credit, put money together, and they give it to that one man before they give it to all of us together. You know, I mean, like they won't even look at their assets for so much. But like we said, zip codes. You know what I mean? It's just so much that prevent us. But it's not equal. But they treat us different over here than they treat them on the other side of town. But okay, say for instance, like Korean, just whatever. I was, I'm saying, man, because that's what just using this league. But it's just the way they treat them over there is how they come over here and treat us. Yeah. They can't. I can't say they can't own nothing, but they don't own as much over there as they own over here. They own everything over here, but we can't. It's almost hard for us to own anything.
Yeah.
It's just not. Right.
Yeah. So from a business perspective, on this side of town, you can see the inequality on a day-to-day basis. Right. Okay. What you got, Will?
I would ask Biden, because I want to speak for Georgia. Go ahead and raise the minimum wage.
Yeah.
Free health care for all. Go ahead and legalize marijuana. Plain and simple. That's what everybody want. Get the people what they want.
That's what the people want, huh? Okay. Yeah.
I've been listening. I think what I would ask is transparency. I didn't know about a red line until you said that. I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know about that. I don't know about what you guys experience in healthcare, right? Because that's your experience in an industry. I don't know that that's not my industry. I look at it as sports. Sports, they can count back to 20, 30 years statistics and stats and tell you what that person did. I know this is it's far-fetched and it's out there, but transparency. Companies are required by law to show what they do. Why? So I'll use a judge, for instance. If we now count how we can count sports, we can tell somebody can give you stats of sports, something that happened to somebody 30 years ago. For instance, an example would be a judge, for instance. If we see how this judge is voted, and always, like throughout their career, and we have the stats for that, I see that this judge always gives this type of sentence to this group or this type, right? It helps make better judgments. I'm in data, what I do. So if we have that data, transparency in all industries, again, it's definitely innovative and far-fetched, but truly, transparency. We can't fix these issues. You know what you know in your area, you know what you know in your area, we'll team together. But if we truly had transparency to see, hey, this superintendent only does this for XYZ, we see that this particular area, due to stats, now that's federally required to show, right? We see now how you slay. What is the most, we can look at that big data and say, hey, I see that this situation or this person or this company only goes here, or this company red lines here. Again, I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all.
Yeah.
But if it's at a federal level required, again, innovative part, and nobody's thinking that way, but truly transparency. Because if we truly see it, everybody can now see your stats. We see what you're doing now. Right? These conversations happen behind closed doors. You don't know about that stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's required to be transparent,
So transparency will help with that overall problem of equality, right? Because then now you're putting Yeah.
Accountability. That'll feed in accountability.
Yeah, so accountability. Okay. I like it. Yeah. Yeah.
I know you got close out. And what everybody said was like magnificent, right? I think the problem that we have to like kind of realize is like how far Black people are. Our brother right here talked about how broken Black people are when we speak on mental health. Mental health, I believe, is a redheaded stepchild of trauma. That we've experienced trauma. I don't know if you look up trauma. Oh, well, let me say this real quick. When y'all get a chance, look at this documentary. It's called America, Who We Are. It's on Netflix. It's probably one of the most powerful documentaries ever. But anyway, please watch that. But trauma, I don't think we realize how trauma can be inherited, right? So they did, back in the day, researchers did a experiment on lab mice, right? They took lab mice, and what they did was they released a cherry aroma for the lab mice, and then when they released it, they would shock the mice. This is the first generation of mice. And they let these mice grow up, and these mice had babies. The second generation, they released the cherry aroma. And these mice never got shocked. But these mice act as if they did get shocked when they released the cherry aroma. Then they did the third generation. The second generation had babies. And on the third generation of mice, they never got shocked either. And their parents never got shocked. But when they released the cherry aroma, they realized they had anxiety. They had stress levels that the parents didn't have, and even the mice before them had. And I don't think we truly understand how impactful trauma has affected us. Our belief system is broken. That's one of the reasons why we can never come together, right? It's like we don't believe in our own people. We don't believe in our neighbor. We don't believe in anybody that look like us, right? And one of the reasons why I said reparations is important is because you finally acknowledge what has happened. It's not about the money, right? Or maybe it is. But regardless of what, it doesn't matter what Black people do with the money. Now we have the opportunity to create ownership and build wealth and create a real system where we now create the belief that we could come together because we got the money to. We don't have to worry about redlining. Now we can educate the schools and educate our own people, right? The problem is every time we've done that in history, not just in Oklahoma, we've been cut down. So now you add that trauma on top of the trauma that we've been dealing with for centuries, right? We're broken. There was even biblically, like there was a point where the people of Israel left and they wanted to go back to being a slave. They left. Y'all won. You want to go back? Right? And that's where we at. We stuck. We lost. And when God made them walk through the wilderness for 40 years, that's where we at.
So how do you fix that? And so I mean, because I'm feeling what you're saying, but you made the statement that there's nothing we can do because we're broken. I can't go with that one. I can't go all the way with that one because I always feel like there's something that can be done. That's why I come back with the question: what do you need, right? Because you have a president, right, that you said you would ask for an apology. You would ask for at least an apology for reparations. It could be more, but you would actually, right?
Reparations.
Right. Yeah, to start the healing process, right? But then eventually you get to where you're going, or you're just saying we broken and there's nothing that can be done about it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so a lot of things that everybody said, I feel like that has to be the first thing.
Yeah.
Now we can acknowledge, all right, this is how we going to move forward, and we got an advance to move forward. Right? We can start to try to undo some things. We can work on the trauma and the things that little Johnny need help.
Yeah.
Right? So now we could address that. Yeah. We don't have to wait on them to tell us or provide the things that we could provide ourselves. The problem is the system is here broken.
Yeah.
But until we get the reparations to help us or aid us in that process, how we gonna fix it?
And so to that point, I'm glad we're wrapping all this up with your statement, because I want to say this before I close this out. This is where it starts, right? in order for us to be able to offer something, we have to offer a plan. You don't just walk in there and ask a man for something if you ain't got no plan of action, right? You actually have to say, hey, my people are broken. They are in, this state, and this is what I need from you as a leader, i.e. president, i.e. governor, i.e. mayor, right? These are the things that we're going to need in order for us to fix ourselves and fix our own community so that we can be, right, full participants. And that's one thing that we can't come together to do right now. And it's because we haven't come together physically and actually had this conversation, right? Like, this is just a small number, but I think that this is what I'm trying to get to, is to get everybody to understand that there's nothing that can't be changed within government. It just takes a number of people to do so. So the only reason things stay the way they are, right? The only reason people stay broken, right, is because nobody's actually walked in that door and demanded the solutions, right? Like, you never said, hey, here's my list of wants, my needs. All of us that's standing here, we want you to deliver on that. It's always piecemeal. There's one person over here that's like, hey, man, I'm trying to get help with this thing. Oh, buddy got his own thing going over there. Hey, there's never a group that walks up as a leader that says, hey, we all want this, man. And we all together, yeah, he or her, they ain't here talking for us, but we all here together for that one thing. Priority list, right? That's why I asked y'all, what do you want? Because a man's not a magician. The president of the United States is not a magician, right? You have to go and ask them, hey, this is the one thing that the state of Georgia or the Richmond County, this is the one thing we want from you, all right? And we'll work on the rest of that, right? So, yeah.
So, real quick, and I'll shut up. Yeah. Another thing to go with that, right, is I believe it needs to be terms, right? President Biden only gets 2 terms. That's 8 years. He's done, right? Legislature, there should be no such thing as lifetime appointments in the Supreme Court. Should not be a, you know why? The president changes, but your senators in there are serving 20, 15, 16, 20 years in there. The ideas aren't changing. It needs to change out. Ideas get fresh with new ideas, with new people. You're young. You're coming in with a whole new idea. They got it been there, not been there for how long?
Forever. Look, I'm looking like about 4 terms. Yeah.
He does his 2 terms. Let's get some fresh weight now. Let's get fresh ideas in there.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out these old things. So it should be terms.
Yeah.
Take that up to the guy, man. Hey, man, term that.
Okay.
Old folks shouldn't be there till they die.
Well, yeah, man. Definitely not. I appreciate that.
They only 30 years old.
Yeah.
So they grew up with the mentality of
Yeah.
talking about.
Okay. Well, hey, I appreciate all y'all coming out here today, being part of this conversation. To everybody that's tuning in, hey, I appreciate y'all linking in as well. Daniel Jackson for Congress. You can find me at djforcongress.com. Also, you can find me on my link tree. Please show your support. The election is May the 21st, all right? 2024, we need this one. Come on out. Hey, we'll be out here. Till next time. Love y'all. Peace.
Well, she was